Welcome to another deep dive, and this time I think we're tackling one that might be a little bit controversial, at least for me.
Oh, really? I'm excited to hear about this.
Well, I'm Matt.
I'm Melanie.
And today we're going to be diving into Fallout, New Vegas.
Fallout, New Vegas, one of my favorites.
Oh boy.
Oh no, you don't like Fallout.
Well, let's just say that the Fallout franchise in general is not my favorite.
Okay, but New Vegas is a little bit different.
It's, more of the same, honestly. In my opinion, I find the gameplay clunky, the quests are repetitive, and it just lacks, that spark of innovation that I look for.
Okay, I can see where you're coming from with the gameplay. It's definitely not the smoothest. But New Vegas, it's got this amazing story.
Okay.
It's got really intricate choices that you get to make that really affect the world.
Yeah.
The world building in New Vegas is phenomenal, and the Mojave Wasteland is just so interesting.
You really think so?
I do. It's got a completely different vibe than, say, Fallout 3, which takes place in Washington, D.C. It's really unique. I mean, you've got the giant dinosaur statue, the New Vegas Strip. It's just iconic.
Do you think a giant, dinosaur statue is iconic?
It is. Come on. It's like a landmark.
To each their own, I guess.
Okay, but seriously, the game's got critical acclaim. It's got an 8.9 on IMDb. It won a Golden Joystick Award for RPG of the Year. It was even nominated for a BAFTA.
And it was buggy. It was so buggy on release. I mean, all the reviews, everybody was complaining about the glitches, the crashes.
Okay, that's true. It had a rough start, but they patched it. They fixed a lot of those issues, and it became a cult classic.
If you say so.
I do say so.
Nice.
I think it's aged really well, and it's really a game that deserves a second look, even if you weren't a fan initially.
Okay, well, speaking of second looks, what is this?
What is that? What?
It looks like a note. Written in, I don't even know what language this is.
Where did that come from? That's strange.
I have no idea.
Is it Japanese?
Japanese. I can't read Japanese.
Wait, hold on. Let me see if I can. All right. I love playing video games on my new computer. My favorite video game is Fallout. Signed with love. Matt, host of this podcast.
No, that's not me. I didn't stop my handwriting.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, I'm positive. And why would I write a love letter to Fallout, New Vegas in Japanese?
I don't know. That's pretty suspicious.
This is ridiculous. I'm telling you, this is not me.
Interesting. Maybe deep down you secretly love Fallout, New Vegas.
No, absolutely not. I despise this game.
All right. We'll see about that. But this is very strange.
I have a feeling I'm never going to live this down, am I?
Probably not.
Okay, well, putting this aside, let's actually get back to talking about the game because, we have a deep dive to do.
Okay, let's talk about, you mentioned the development was rushed. Did you know they only had 18 months to make this game?
Really? That's insane.
It's a crazy short amount of time for an RPG of that scale. And Obsidian, the developer, they actually approached Bethesda wanting to do this spin-off. Bethesda suggested a Western setting.
All right.
And then Obsidian, they used real geological data, tons of photos, all kinds of stuff to build this world.
Okay.
And it ended up being the Mojave Wasteland.
Which is a giant empty desert. So.
It's not just empty. It's got the New Vegas Strip. It's got the Hoover Dam. It's got all these really cool locations.
You say so. But, I still can't get over how clunky the gameplay feels.
Yeah.
It's not for me.
I get it. What specifically do you not like about it? What are your biggest gripes? Besides the combat. You already said the combat's clunky.
Yeah, the combat's awful.
Yeah.
But it's also the dialogue trees, right? They're just endless.
The dialogue trees.
It feels like I'm spending half my time just clicking through conversations, trying to find the right answer to please whoever I'm talking to.
Yeah, you've got to think about all the skill checks and branching paths.
Exactly. And it's tedious. I want action. I want a story that moves. I don't want to spend hours, picking the perfect dialogue options just to get like a rusty wrench from some guy.
Not all the quests are about rusty wrenches, though.
Oh, really? Convince me. What kind of quests are there that are actually exciting?
Okay, there's one called Come Fly With Me. Have you played that one?
I don't even remember. Probably not.
Okay, well, you have to help these escaped convicts repair this old bomber.
A bomber.
Yeah, so they can escape from the Mojave. It's got everything. You got to scavenge parts. You got to deal with rival gangs. And there's a choice at the end. It really determines their fate.
Okay, that does sound a little bit more interesting than a rusty wrench.
Right. And the DLC, the DLC is where it's at. It's some of the best in the whole franchise.
DLC. Fallout. New Vegas has good DLC.
Oh, it's fantastic.
All right, I'm listening.
Yes.
Which ones should I, hypothetically play?
Okay, so first up, you've got Dead Money.
Dead Money. Okay.
This one is, well, it's a bit of a departure. It's very atmospheric, almost like a horror game. Well, survival horror, I guess. You get trapped in this abandoned casino, the Sierra Madre.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Right. It's legendary. But it's shrouded in this toxic cloud, and you have to wear this special collar.
A collar.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Sounds unpleasant.
It is. And you have to team up with these other captives to try and pull off a heist.
So it's a heist movie, but in a toxic casino with a collar.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But it's really well done. It's got this really tense atmosphere.
I'll give you that. That does sound a little bit intriguing, despite the, the deadly cloud and the collars and everything.
Right. And then there's Honest Hearts. This one's completely different. It's set in Zion National Park.
Zion National Park. Wow.
Okay, so it's beautiful. It's got all this lush scenery. It's a nice change of pace from the desert.
Okay.
And you get caught in the middle of this conflict between these different tribes.
Tribes, like raiders, but with nature.
Well, kind of. They're more like, I guess you could say, indigenous tribes. But they all have their own beliefs, their own ways of life, and you get to interact with them and kind of shape how things play out.
Okay, so it's more like a diplomacy kind of thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of dialogue, a lot of choices to make.
Great, more choices.
But it's really well written. It really makes you think about, the different perspectives and the complexities of this world.
All right, I'm intrigued. What else is there?
Okay, then you got Old World Blues. This one it's just wild. It's like they took all the weirdest parts of Fallout and just cranked them up to 11.
Okay, that sounds about right.
So you end up in this place called Big MT, which is this giant research crater.
A research crater.
Yeah, it's where the pre-war scientists were doing all these crazy experiments.
I'm sensing a theme here.
And the place is just full of these bizarre creatures, strange technology.
This is sounding less and less appealing.
No, it's great. It's so funny. The writing is just hilarious. You'll love it.
All right. I'll keep an open mind.
And the best part is you get to meet these think tank scientists.
Think tank scientists?
Yeah, they're these brains, like literally just brains, in these robot bodies.
Okay, that's pretty weird, even for Fallout.
It is, and they're all super eccentric, and they've got all these crazy quests for you to do.
All right, well, I'll put it on the list. What about the last one?
The last one is Lonesome Road.
Lonesome Road, okay.
This one's a little bit more serious, a little bit more personal to the courier, your character.
Okay.
You get contacted by this guy named Ulysses, another courier.
Another courier.
Yeah, and he has a connection to the Platinum chip, the one that started the whole game.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And he basically challenges you to this duel, this confrontation.
A duel, like with guns.
Well, it's more than just guns. It's a battle of ideologies,
Mm-hmm.
He represents this completely different way of thinking about the wasteland.
Interesting.
And you have to go through this really dangerous area called the Divide to get to him.
The Divide sounds ominous.
It is. It's this canyon that's been ravaged by earthquakes and war.
Okay, so it's like a personal journey, but also like a philosophical battle.
Exactly. It's a really great way to wrap up the courier's story, and it gives you a lot to think about.
Well, you've definitely made me reconsider my stance on the DLC. They sound a lot more interesting than I initially thought.
I'm glad to hear that. They really add a whole new dimension to the game.
Okay, well, and you're making a pretty compelling case here for the DLC, but I can't get past the base game was just so rough around the edges,
Yeah, the 18-month development cycle definitely didn't help.
No, I mean, talk about ambition over execution, right?
Yeah, but what did come out of that was an amazing modding community.
Oh, the modders, yeah, they do some crazy stuff.
They're still working on it today, fixing things, adding things.
It's almost like they're doing Obsidian's job for them, right?
Well, I see it more as a collaboration, Obsidian provided the base and the community just took it and ran with it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that is pretty impressive, actually.
It is, and it shows you how much love there is for this game, despite its flaws.
Okay, well, you've definitely given me some food for thought. Maybe I'll give New Vegas another try someday.
Maybe. If you're willing to give the game a second chance, you should really listen to the soundtrack. It's incredible.
Soundtrack. I usually just mute games and listen to my own music.
No, trust me, it's amazing. It's done by Enon Zur.
Enon Zur.
He's a fantastic composer, and he really captured the feel of the Mojave.
Okay.
It's a mix of original stuff and some licensed tracks from like the 40s and 50s.
Oh, wow.
It's really immersive. And even the radio stations are good. They've got all this classic music on there.
Right. You've convinced me. I'll check out the soundtrack. Maybe that'll help me appreciate the game a little more.
I think it will. And who knows, maybe you'll even discover a newfound love for Fallout.
Yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves. But speaking of discoveries, we still haven't figured out this whole Japanese note situation.
Oh, that's right. The mystery continues.
Yeah, who do you think wrote it? And why?
Maybe we'll uncover the truth as we keep diving deeper into Fallout.
Okay, but first, let's talk about something that you mentioned earlier. This, the lack of clear good guys in this world.
Oh yeah, the moral ambiguity. That's one of the things I love about New Vegas.
Really? I find it kind of confusing, to be honest.
I know, it can be, but it makes you think.
Okay.
So you've got all these factions, right? They all have their own goals, their own ways of doing things.
Yeah.
And there are no easy answers. There's no, one fashion that's purely good or purely evil.
So it's all shades of gray.
Exactly. And that's what makes the choices so interesting, because you have to really weigh your options and decide what you think is the best course of action.
I guess I could see that. But doesn't it make it hard to, get invested in this story if you don't know who to root for?
Maybe for some people. But for me, it's what makes the game so compelling. Because you're not just following a predetermined path, you're really shaping the world with your choices.
Okay, so it's less about being a hero and more about, navigating this moral maze.
Exactly. It's about making tough decisions and dealing with the consequences.
Sounds like real life.
Right. And I think that's why New Vegas has resonated with so many people, because it presents this really complex world and it asks you to think about what you would do in these situations.
Huh. That's pretty deep for a video game.
It is. And I think it's one of the reasons why people are still talking about New Vegas all these years later.
You're really making me rethink my whole stance on this game.
Good. I'm glad to hear it.
I still might not love it, but I can at least appreciate the ambition and the thought that went into it.
That's all I ask. And hey, if you're feeling open-minded, maybe we can even take a look at some gameplay later.
We'll see about that. But you know what? I'm actually kind of curious now. What would my alternate self in the Fallout universe be like?
Ooh, that's a good question.
The one who wrote the Japanese note?
The New Vegas-loving Matt?
Yeah, what kind of choices would he make? Would he be a gunslinger? A smooth talker?
Maybe he's a charismatic leader who unites all the factions.
Or maybe he's just a total weirdo who collects snow globes.
Hey, there's no judgment in the Mojave Wasteland.
That's true. But you know what? I think that's a perfect place to leave it for now. We've got a lot more to explore in the world of Fallout. And I'm kind of excited to see what else we uncover. What about the story itself? Beyond the main quest, are there any side quests or stories that are actually, worth playing?
Oh, tons. So many. The writing in New Vegas is phenomenal.
Okay.
It's so sharp, it's witty, it's dark, it's got it all.
All right, well, give me an example. What's a side quest that really stands out to you?
Okay, so there's one called Beyond the Beef. You familiar with that one?
Beyond the Beef, no. Rings a bell, but...
Okay, well, it involves this guy named Heck Gunderson.
Heck Gunderson, all right.
He's trying to open a restaurant in the Ultra Luxe Casino.
Okay, a restaurant in a casino.
Yeah, there's a problem. There's no meat, so he asks you to find some.
To find some meat. And this is a memorable quest.
Oh, it's hilarious. It's so twisted and dark, and it really shows off the dark humor of Fallout.
Okay, I'll give you that. That does sound kind of interesting.
Right, and it involves a lot of choices. How you get the meat, what you do with it.
Oh, great.
Choice. It's all about choices. But seriously, if you want a good story, you've got to check out the DLC.
Okay, but even with the DLC, I can't help but think about all the problems the base game had at launch. The glitches, the crashes.
Yeah, the development was definitely rushed.
It's a shame, really, because it sounded like they had so many great ideas.
They did. And, Obsidian has a history of making really ambitious RPGs, but they often run into these technical issues.
It's like they have too much vision and not enough time or resources to execute it properly.
It's a delicate balance. You want to create something amazing, but you also have to work within the constraints of reality.
I guess that's true for everything, not just video games.
Right. But, what's fascinating about New Vegas is that even with all its flaws, it managed to create this incredibly dedicated fan base.
Yeah, the people who love it really love it.
They do. And I think it's because the game at its core has this heart to it. It's got this soul that shines through despite all the rough edges.
Maybe that's why the modding community is so strong, because they see that potential and they want to help realize it.
Exactly. It's like a collective effort to make New Vegas the best game it can be.
That's actually pretty cool when you think about it.
It is. It's like a testament to the power of community and shared passion.
Okay, well, I'm starting to understand the appeal a little bit more now. It's still not a perfect game, but it's clearly more than just a buggy mess.
That's all I ask. It's a flawed masterpiece, in my opinion.
Flawed masterpiece, huh? Maybe you're right. You know what? I'm feeling a little bit more open-minded about this whole thing now. I think I might actually be ready to dive back into the Mojave Wasteland and see what I missed.
That's the spirit. And hey, if you need a guide, I'm always happy to help.
Okay, well, let's do it then. Let's fire up New Vegas and see what all the fuss is about.
All right, let's go. But first, I think we need to address the elephant in the room. Or rather, the mysterious note on the table.
Oh, right. The Japanese note.
Yeah, we can't just ignore that.
No, we can't. It's been bugging me this whole time.
Me too. It's like this unsolved mystery hanging over our heads.
Okay, well, let's try and figure it out. What do we know so far?
Well, we know it's written in Japanese.
Right.
And it professes a deep love for Fallout.
And it's signed by, well, supposedly signed by me.
Yes, which is very strange.
Yeah, it's more than strange. It's creepy.
Okay, well, let's think about this rationally. Who could have written it?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know anyone who speaks Japanese.
That's true. Maybe it's a listener. A very dedicated listener who wanted to play a prank on us.
Maybe. But why Japanese? It seems like a very specific choice.
That is true. It's like they wanted to make it extra mysterious.
Okay, well, we're not getting anywhere just speculating. We need more information.
All right, well, let's put it aside for now. We can come back to it later. Maybe we'll find some clues as we explore the game.
All right, fine. But I'm not letting this go. I want to get to the bottom of this.
Don't worry, we will. We'll solve the mystery of the Japanese note. But for now, let's dive back into the world of Fallout.
Okay, let's do it. But I'm keeping my eyes peeled for any suspicious characters who might be carrying Japanese dictionaries.
Sounds like a plan. All right, so where do we want to start? The Strip. The Hoover Dam.
Actually, you know what? I'm kind of curious about this Caesar's Legion you mentioned earlier.
Caesar's Legion. Oh boy, you're in for a treat.
Why? What are they like?
Well, let's just say they're not exactly known for their hospitality.
Okay, that sounds ominous. But tell me more.
All right, but be warned, they're a pretty brutal bunch.
I'm ready. Hit me with it.
So Caesar's Legion, they're a force to be reckoned with in the Mojave Wasteland.
Okay, that doesn't tell me much. What's their deal? What do they want?
Power, mostly. They're all about conquering and expanding their territory. They're inspired by ancient Rome, with the whole legions and the Caesar and everything.
Ancient Rome.
Yeah.
The Mojave Desert. That seems a bit out of place.
Right. But they've managed to build this really powerful army, and they're a major threat to the NCR.
The NCR, that's the New California Republic, right?
Yeah, exactly. They're kind of like the main opposing force to Caesar's Legion. They're trying to establish a more democratic society, but they're also pretty expansionist.
So it's like a clash of civilizations in the wasteland.
Exactly. It's one of the central conflicts in New Vegas. And you, as the player, get to choose a side or even try to forge your own path.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Too many choices. It's overwhelming.
Yeah, I know. But it's what makes New Vegas so unique. It's not just about shooting things. It's about making these really tough decisions that have real consequences.
Okay, fine. I'll give you that. But back to Caesar's Legion. What are they like? I mean, it's besides being, brutal conquerors and all that.
Well, they're very strict. They have this really rigid moral code, and they don't tolerate weakness.
Sounds kind of fascist, to be honest.
Yeah, there are definitely some parallels there. They value strength, discipline, and loyalty above all else, and they have no problem with slavery or crucifying people who disobey them.
Okay, that's pretty messed up. I'm starting to see why you said they weren't known for their hospitality.
Right, but they're a fascinating faction from a storytelling perspective. They represent this very different way of life in the wasteland, and they force you to really think about your own values.
I guess that's true. It's like they're the ultimate villains, but they're also more than just, cartoonish bad guys.
Exactly. They have their own motivations, their own beliefs, and they're a product of the world they live in, just like every other faction in New Vegas.
Okay, I'm starting to see the bigger picture here. It's like this whole world is built on moral gray areas. There's no easy answers.
That's what I love about it. It's a game that makes you think, makes you question your assumptions.
Well, you've definitely given me a lot to think about. And I'm actually kind of excited to explore more of this world, see what other surprises it has in store.
I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. New Vegas is full of hidden gems just waiting to be discovered.
And maybe, just maybe, I'll even start to enjoy those clunky mechanics and endless dialogue trees.
You never know. Stranger things have happened in the Mojave Wasteland.
Okay, maybe not. But I will say this, I'm definitely glad we had this deep dive. It's really opened my eyes to a game that I honestly dismissed for years.
That's what it's all about. Exploring new ideas, challenging our perspectives.
And who knows, maybe one day I'll even write you a love letter in Japanese.
I'll hold you to that. But in all seriousness, I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have. We've talked about the good, the bad, and the buggy. And I think we've both come away with a better understanding of what makes Fallout such a unique and enduring game.
I agree. It's a game that, despite its flaws, has left a lasting impact on the RPG genre.
And on us, apparently.
Oh, definitely on us.
So, to everyone listening, if you haven't experienced Fallout New Vegas yet, I encourage you to give it a try. You might just be surprised by what you find.
And if you're already a fan, well, then you know what we're talking about.
And who knows, maybe you have your own theories about that mysterious Japanese note.
Oh yeah, that's right, the note. We never did figure that out.
Some mysteries are best left unsolved, I guess.
Maybe. But it definitely adds to the intrigue, doesn't it?
It does. It's a reminder that even in a world as vast and complex as the Mojave Wasteland, there are still secrets waiting to be uncovered.
And that's what makes it so exciting to explore.
Well said. And on that note, I think it's time for us to wrap up this deep dive. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Thanks for listening. And until next time, keep exploring.